Hey, Orange One here. So, it's been a little while since I was actually playing Caves of Cud, and I'm adding an uh, audio. I think from what I remember, we were in, I think this was Red Rock, um, just reading a randomly procedurally generated book on birds. Um, I don't tend to read these things out. I mean, feel free to read through it yourself and go back. Uh, I just really like the items in this game, especially procedurally generated. Like, none of that book was actually written by someone. It's just all computers just putting like parts of sentences together, and you get some really interesting, just bizarre stuff sometimes, but sometimes you get like some cool backstory, and then you can kind of like RP and just kind of go with it, you know? So I think OPA at this point has been fairly successful. You know, we've managed to survive a little bit longer than our previous character, and there's a bear right there, which I'm completely terrified of, seeing how poor Alfred died to a bear. But it looks like that beetle is holding their ground against the bear pretty nicely. They're actually, the bears hurt more than the beetle bum. And it looks like they killed the bear, and there's a snapjaw scavenger, so... I mean, it's kind of weird because that beetle seems to not be hostile, so the enemies can't just pass through it like you can if you're friendly. Like if you saw when I went and hit the number key in the beetle's direction, I was able to just switch places with it. And that's always nice if you got a clear shot on the kudzu. We do have a couple hostile creatures here, so I figured might as well get some attacks in, maybe check out what's going on. Oh yeah, I don't think I've talked about the snapjaws and their stat swarmer, but it helps them when they overrun you. They suddenly become a lot more difficult to deal with. So that's why you want to keep them in one location. And you probably just saw that skunk just gave off some gas, which I think it gives you an effect. I'm not 100% sure, but I wanted to keep my distance. And it looks like it's fighting those other creatures, so I might as well let them do what they're gonna do and then hang out back here. And it looks like the honey skunk died. Wait, is it like a honey badger slash skunk? I think that's what it is, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I think in this episode I was trying to, oh yeah, I had spent all that money recently and got an artifact that wasn't even that good, and I wanted to see if we could maybe get some decent stuff. Diving back into, I think it was Red Rock. I think I just recorded a ton of Caves of Cud like one night, and so I actually haven't played this in like a week. And I'm actually just watching this, getting excited to play it again. I mean, the cave diving... Oh, we got grabbed by the plant. The dungeon crawling can be a little bit tedious, but I mean, it's all procedurally generated. That's why I really like Cataclysm, is that like every game is a little bit different. And I think Caves of Cud really scratches that itch well, and I just love the lore of the world. I just hope that I can get to some of that a little bit more. I think later in this episode we do go to a village, or like some shrine or something of a sultan, so you get to see some of the stuff there. At this point, it's like typical roguelike dungeon crawling, and we got shot by a slug snout. That's the time to sprint because they just took more than half of our health out in one hit. Yeah, and you gotta be careful with this game, like one bad hit and you're done. What was I doing there? Just like hanging out by the stairs? Yeah, that's what it looks like. And I think I was just waiting to get my my sprint back up. Yeah, I was just holding down 5, waiting for that sprint to come back. And if you look, yep, we've got sprint now. So I think that was the point in game when I realized that you can see your abilities next to your stats. With that green arrow, that was the sprint. Yeah, some of these creatures are pretty tough actually. Snapjaws are probably the least dangerous thing that we're dealing with. But they still, the brutes can still hurt you pretty bad. I think, you know, once we get upgraded from this bow, we'll actually be able to, the snapjaws will probably be able to take out, like with one hit at a time. But for now, those brutes can be, well, a little bit more than we can handle. I think with our agility though, and our extra speed, we've really built ourselves nice to just run away and shoot people, but like when you go into these tunnels and you have these little choke points, it gets a little bit tricky because you kind of have to do a little bit of fighting. And once we get like laser rifles and pistols and all that stuff, we'll be able to shoot these dudes and kill them in 1 or 2 hits, so that won't be a problem. But until we get stuff like that, it's gotta be a little bit sketchy. I think is that fractured microchip? I think that gives us a pretty useful scrap, from what I remember. I think that gives us like a scrap, which is like one of those little red ones, which is useful for crafting, I think, guns? I'm not sure. And I think at this point I was just scared of attacking that slug snout. And seeing how they did hit us and take out like half of our health, I felt like, well, sure, we could keep on going down, but I think we're gonna leave, so we might as well get Tinkerer and see what we can get. And the Gyroceptor backpack would be really sweet, but we're not gonna have that gear anytime soon, so I figured, okay, Resonance Grenade, that sounds good. It's random which things you get offered when you upgrade Tinkerer. You can, I mean, if you're like save scummy, you can totally exit out of the game after something like that has happened and then just reload it back up. And you can keep on doing that till you get a prototype for a certain cell. And then you can just craft a ton of those energy cells and just keep on going. Like if you get like I had this one character like maybe actually probably like 2 years ago when I started playing this game, who is like a Truekin, like so one of those humans, and he had I think it was a laser rifle and like 6 solar cells, and so like I would just like run around shooting during the day, and like my guns would never run out of ammo basically because I'd be just reloading the solar cells that I wasn't currently loaded in, and they'd be charging up, you know? But it did make diving into the ground a little bit troublesome. Oh yeah, and then I did try that auto path. And because we're seeing the kudzu, it's stopping us from auto pathing. It's probably a good thing, seeing how someone was saying auto path sometimes can kill you by making you slip into like mines and stuff. I think that we had gathered a pretty good amount of loot, so we should be able to, if there's anything half decent, we might be able to buy it from, what's his name? The Dromad. From Tam, I believe. I do have to say, like, the soundtrack in this game I like, but it's really repetitive, you know? Oh look, it even tells you that Tam has restocked his inventory. I think I was just checking, yeah, fried processing core will cost us 100. And I don't think we're gonna get that back if we try and sell a grenade, so... Unfortunately, it doesn't really make sense to break something down the grenade. And do you know the Serene Visage, that first blueprint that we got, is kind of worthless for this character? Seeing how they don't even really use willpower. And we're not really built towards it. Oh, small box, I think, is crayons. You can totally have crayons in this game. I think with the gear that we have here, and we'll see how much we have worth. I think I remember that we were able to get, not great loot, but we were able to get something pretty good. Definitely gotta hold on to that lead acid cell, see as our only energy cell. Basically, if we can find a puddle of acid and get some sort of container that's not going to break down, we'll have a pretty decent source for our electro bow. It'd be nice to have something a little bit better though, from what I read online, because they didn't actually have the electro bow in game when I was, or not the electro bow, the lead acid cells when I was playing a while ago. But from what I heard, it's like pretty much the worst energy cell, which kind of makes sense you get in the starter area. What I really should do is just go looking for a group of NPCs, like, and see if we can kite like a bear or something into them, and then just take all their stuff. Because like they usually have a couple good things, especially if they're like dromads or like the oh god, what's the or are they called the Putus order? Probably mispronouncing that, but that's the nice thing about a game like this. You can't mispronounce it because there's no dialogue, right? I was tempted to go for an artifact, but we kind of needed that musket. What am I doing here trying to get the copper nuggets? I'm not sure why I did that trade. Oh, I think I wanted to check with and see if Argyle had any other things we might be able to buy. Is that what I was doing? No, I was going to just go loot because we got some more water, so we've got plenty of water. And then I think, yeah, I was gonna go check out that one place. It was that historical site. So it's not a village, it's a historical site. That's what it is. So I think it's like a shrine to a sultan that we can go check out. And I wasn't sure about a parsang. They never tell you what a parsang is in this game. You just kind of have to figure it out. So I wasn't sure if it was one of these maps or if it was one of the overmaps. Because one of the overmaps has 9 of these regular maps inside of it. So I wasn't sure if I needed to go over 3 of these and then up 1, or if I needed to go over 3 overmaps and up 1 overmap. I think from what I remember is a parsang is like an overmap tile. So it's pretty far away. I didn't know that just yet, and you know, it's always, in my opinion, especially in the marsh, a good idea to go through on foot, because you can find some really good stuff just on the ground like this. Like, I think there's a oh god, what was it? There's like a crashed something in the marshes, at least there used to be, that had like some free technology and you'd just find it randomly. You just wandered around the marshes. I would really like to not be relying on these torches. I think this game, from what I remember, had night vision, so it'd be nice to get something like that. And I know we shouldn't really be fighting glowfish and whatnot, but they still give us experience, right? I was also looking it up, and it looks like there's some different tile sets people have made for Caves of Cut. There's a chest hole tile set, so it actually looks kind of like our old Cataclysm series. I was thinking of trying out some different tile sets. Maybe I'll try those for different episodes. I'm used to this tile set though. This is like the classic. So yeah, at this point I was realizing that we need to go 3 over and up 1 to get to there, and it's actually on our overmap, which I don't think I had seen beforehand. Oh yeah, I'm making a fire because we're hungry. A steel blade of grass. Delicious. See what I mean? If you read like the procedurally generated things, like the food that you're eating, it's just ridiculous, you know? Just completely ridiculous. I did get kind of nervous about crossing the water because you do move slower crossing water, and there can be some kind of nasty things, especially once you get to the jungle on the other side of the mountains. There are these things that can just like, they literally can like bite one of your limbs off. And like, unlike in Kenshi, I don't think you can get cybernetic limbs. At least as a mutant. I mean, I know there's cybernetics in there's some pretty good cybernetics, but I don't know about limbs. Like, I know you can get like night vision eyes and like armored skin and other stuff like that. Where did that crocodile go? I think it must be fighting something else. After we ran away, it probably got aggroed on something else. I don't know how. Maybe it died, like it bled out. Yeah, I think we were just wandering through the marshes here. So I had this kind of funny thing happen to me today. Not funny, but like there was this basically this one student that said to me, because we've had so much snow recently, they said to me that like, oh look, the weather, like climate change isn't real or something like that. And it was kind of funny because I know at 6th grade we taught them about climate change and the evidence for it, and I think we looked at like 8 or 10 different pieces of evidence, varying from like well, let's look at the ocean temperature and let's look at global averages versus local weather. And oh, look, some places have gotten colder, but the average has gone up. And um, we even looked at things like termites and how there's termites that are like basically able to survive further north because they're no longer getting frost during the winter, so they're able to live like during the winter and survive better in the warmer environments. And so it's like all this evidence, like, and I think we spent like a week on it, but like it just was one of those things where it's like, are you kidding me? Makes you kind of like think like, oh man, what am I doing if I teach these kids this stuff and then they're just like, nah, snow. Like, there's no such thing as climate change if we get snow. Yeah, just, sorry, a teacher rant there. Okay, so I think we're pretty much at that place. Oh, a lair of a legendary kudzu. So it looks like there's a lair here. I wasn't sure if this like was that, I don't even know how to say it, Shutum or something. I wasn't sure if it was the same location or not because I thought we were pretty much at the location. And there are like these living plants, you know, or like sentient plants around here. But look at all the trash that we're able to check out. And I think those things off in the distance are other things stepping on the trash and looting the trash. I'm not 100% sure about that. Oh wow, a beaded bracelet, nice. And a painted bronze dagger. It'd be really nice if it was painted in iron or steel. I wonder if I checked out that painted dagger. It doesn't look like I did. I think I was just too busy with trying to survive to see what it was painted with. Oh, okay, so we could actually go from the overmap to go to this place. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to shoot that jilted lover or kudzu, whatever the plant is, from a safe point. Oop. Oh, it is a kudzu, and it just rusted that iron mace that we're carrying. I think I was trying to melee that bush so we could maybe get a clear shot, but these things that are flying just keep on going on that tile, and I was a little bit worried that if we tried to attack the bush or the kudzu that those birds would start attacking us. And I mean, we could probably take them, but I didn't want to waste our arrows on that. And it's clear now, so oh, it looks like they're fighting that bird now. I don't know what affects your ability to hit them from these weird angles, but it looks like it wasn't working, so I just gave up. So we spent enough arrows on that. I don't know, part of me does like old school leveling systems like this, but part of me just really it drives me a little bit crazy. It's like, are you kidding me? If we shoot all these arrows, aren't we gonna get better at shooting arrows? Like, I really like that about the Cataclysm system. Look, we got all this tar around us. Oh, that assault hopper nearly killed us, huh? Oh, I don't want to keybind. The problem with keybinds is that, well, if you press that key on accident, you can suddenly be sprinting when you don't want to be sprinting. And if you're sprinting when you don't want to be sprinting, you could have a cooldown when you would really like to sprint. So, I suppose you could keybind some things, but sprint is not one of them. Like, if you have the ability to shoot fire out of your hands, sure, keybind that, because you can choose to deactivate that halfway through, but something like this I would not keybind. And it looks like that salt hopper left us alone at this point. I'm pretty sure, oh, we haven't gotten our ability to sprint back yet, but yeah, I just wanted to go to the place, and you can just, if you're on the overmap, you can get there. And hey, we got some experience there. We didn't level up though, by the looks of it. There's an Arconaut right there. Ooh, look at that. He's got a revolver and some weird artifact. Not really willing to trade anything. But see, like a dude like that, you can you could totally run someone into him and have them fight. And I just kind of wanted to see what was around here. And I think I got a little bit worried there because, yeah, there's something shooting. It's actually two things shooting right now. I think we just decided to get out of there while we still had some health. The Arconaut seems to just be chilling, so figured, well, if anyone comes for us, maybe they'll fight the Arconaut. Hey, sorry, that was probably kind of pretty abrupt stop to me talking there. My cat like jumped on my keyboard and I lost the point where I was at in the recording, so I just picked up roughly where I left off a little bit after. So I think it'll work, probably. But it looks like there's some serious war going on with snapjaws over there, and oh god, look at that. I recognize you. I've lost characters to you before. That's a shotgunner. So that dude could just straight up just kill us. Like, if we let him get close while he's still got bullets, we're dead. The good thing is being out in the open here is that we could probably hit him with some good arrows, potentially. Or he might be able to, he might just waste his shots. I don't know what's going on. Did we actually, I don't think we've hit him. I think we might have hit the dragonfly. Yep, there's a dragonfly that we just hit. Which means these other dragonflies are going to be hostile to us. Which is the last thing we need right now when we've got a shotgunner. But don't worry, we'll make it work. And we are taking out these glow crows. But they do actually do a decent amount of damage on us, so not exactly a fight I want to get into right now. 3 of them against us, even if they're weak, could prove to be troublesome. And with the ranged attacks, we're okay. I actually think if you don't have a ranged attack, I don't know if there's a way that you can hit those dudes. Yeah, I probably should just fall back. I think that's what I was thinking, seeing how we're hurt, and that dude has a shotgun. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's better to be a coward and live to see another day. Especially in a game like this. I don't know, I feel like I've just been going off the handle in Cataclysm and just... I mean, I just uploaded that Doom video a few days ago, and it's just been insane. And like, I need to get used to being just like delicate in these games. I mean, in this game, I think you're always delicate. There's always something that can just completely destroy you. In Cataclysm, I do think that you do get to a point once you get the power armor and the military guns and ammo, you're pretty much invincible. If we look in here, look, there's these guys. They're part of the Yeshidian folk. It says he's a goat, but he doesn't look like a goat to me. He looks like some plant. So these guys were hostile to us, so I figured, you know, maybe we can take them out. Oh, maybe he was just appearing that way because he was stuck in like a web or something. Oh yeah, I think I remember this. That goat was kind of freaking me out, and yet, for good reason. They do a fair amount of damage to us. So like I was saying earlier, it's better to run away and live. But now we're stuck between a rampaging goat and a snapjaw with a shotgun. And we are running around with a torch at night, so we're not going to see that snapjaw with the shotgun before it's too late. But we do have some friendly dogs up here, which is nice. There are also salt hoppers, which are going to try and melee us. Yeah, that salt hopper's going for us. I'm not sure who's being attacked by those glow crows. Those equinox, those horse things, they're actually really good for training. If you get like a decent ranged weapon, you can get a ton of... Oh look, there's some sort of pyramid that we found. So we have a number of interesting procedurally generated locations that we could check out here. But to be honest, I think we're kind of out of our league, especially just with a bow. I think when we start getting into these mountains, I mean, you can survive with a bow, but it's really tough. It's a lot smarter to have like a shotgun or a musket, or if you can get a revolver or a desert rifle. Any of those would do. And I mean, to be honest, once you get a couple trips into the Dromad, you'll have more ammo than you'll ever need. Especially once you start finding enemies carrying those things and carrying ammo. But right now we're just gonna run around kiting chameleons and salt hoppers. Of course, it's not even hurt. We are fast enough that we can run around it, which is shocking because salt hoppers are, I think, I don't want to say some of the fastest enemies, but they're pretty darn fast. But we seem to be just about fast enough to run away from them. I think we may have hit that equinox, so at this point I was just terrified of being stampeded by the equinox. Yeah, I was just trying to get out of there. And I think I was checking the arrows just then, from what I remember. I actually didn't even check to see how many I have right now, but by the looks of things, I decided it would be best to start making our way back. So I think we were kind of low on arrows, and we had a decent amount of gear. And see what I'm doing right there? I'm crossing the river where it's narrow, just in case. Or not river, lake or whatever. I think it's a little, counts as a little river when it's like that, don't you? But look, we got more green sludge. I think it's slime. From what I remember, yeah, it's slime when we stepped over it there. And look at all those snapjaws. So that was just, nope. Not going there. So from what I remember at this point, all we did was make our way back. Yeah, we were making our way back, and then we did another trade with Tam. I think we got something pretty good. And it wasn't, you know, it wasn't the best or the worst trade deal. But with our stats, we're not going to get good trade deals, is the thing. I think you need, is it ego to get good trade deals? And we've got like meh ego. That typical role-playing game, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be able to fight good, or do you want good items easily purchased? And then you don't have to know how to fight good, you just got good items, you know? I do like the procedurally generated roads and stuff. I don't know, it feels a little bit more patchy than like Cataclysm. Like those roads just seem to go to nowhere, you know? I'm not saying that Cataclysm doesn't ever do that, but for the most part towns connect meaningful places, or roads are connecting towns and other meaningful places pretty well in that game. Yeah, see, all that stuff's like worth nothing, you know? Yeah, I didn't even check out the painted bronze dagger, we just sold it. It looks like. I want to know what a Schrodinger page is. Is it a page that's both there and not there at the same time? Let's go with that for now. And see, these things are basically our money, and if with all that stuff together, we've got just about over 90, 100 net worth. Which means we can buy this, but we're not going to have a lot of water after that. I think that it's worth it, you know? Like we need an actual rifle. That would be nice. And a shotgun would also be nice, but I think seeing how we've built this character, we can just run away from enemies and just pelt them, you know? I think I was just trying to make the numbers more similar in their decimals so we didn't have to waste something. And I think, yeah, we were going to repair that, that rusted mace, because we will get more money for that than from the salvage. And it's not an awful lot more, it's like 1 more dram, I think. I thought we got rid of all that stuff up there, but you know, whatever. Some these old bows as well. Oh, I only sold 1, that's what it is. We only sold 1 of the 2 items that we had there. Oh, and look at all these copper nuggets. I had actually plenty of cash. I think we just wanted to get as many lead slugs as possible. And what did I get after that? I can't even remember. I think we just went with that, yep. So there you go, we've got a musket. And we got some ammo. I think I'm just about done. We've only got about 12 seconds left, so I think we were just doing a little bit of inventory management. Yep, we reloaded that musket. Alright, well thank you for joining me. This has been Orange One.